Blessings, welcome in. I hope everyone is doing well. I am Mel. It's been a minute since I've been on. I've been venturing, journeying, and it's been quite the journey, I must say. A lot of shifts, a lot of awakenings, a lot of new information, new data to work with, and new streams of consciousness. And that is important to step away from the facade, to step away from the social medias, to step away from uh, friends, partners, groups, etc., the groupthink, okay? In order to really listen and see what your universe is communicating to you. So I don't know what most other people have been going through, but I know within myself, I've shifted a lot just within the past month between um, the lunar eclipse and just everyday cycles of evolution to get me to where I am, to get me to where I need to be. Okay, as many of us do. So last that I left off, I spoke about a correction of the ionic pairs, right? And many people are not even aware. What's an ionic pair, man? Well, an ionic pair, so we're going to take a huge jump and shift our consciousness, our awareness from twin flame mirrored soul dynamics. And we're going to go into the ionic pairs, which is a different blueprint. We know that twin flames are distorted and brambled with a lot of pain and suffering, a lot of waiting, a lot of disempowerment, a lot of chaos. And it's a consciousness trap, right? And I spoke about, my journey through the twin flame dynamic. I don't know, well over a year or whatever. When we begin to find unification, the hieros within ourselves, uniting the masculine, feminine aspects of self within us, we begin to build these energetic geometric structures of the rod and the staff. That is a microcosm of the planetary rod and staff, which is the macro representation. So if you can constantly see that your micro is a reflection of the macro, the larger picture that is going on, what is representative within your environment and your life is a reflection of the broader scheme, the bigger picture, the grand orchestration of cosmic waves, so to speak. We're not separate. What is going on above is actually going on down below, within and without. We hear these phrases and people just don't actually grasp the deeper meaning of what is going on. So anyway, where do I want to go with this? So I was channeling probably about a month ago these realizations and recognitions, and I understand they were personal communications for me and what I was about to step into, what path and journey I was ready to step onto. And the recorrections that I was going through because it's part of my mission. Now, not everyone will resonate with this. So take what resonates, leave the rest. You know the story. But if the story interests you, please, my space is open and you're more than welcome to stay and journey along. So, last that we spoke, there was a recorrection occurring or about to occur within these ionic pairs. And I'm going to read some stuff to describe and explain more of the ionic pair. Most people will look at it and go, oh, it's another twin flame dynamic. No, it's not. It's much more. It serves a greater role and purpose in this grand scheme of what we call ascension, this planetary evolution. And any of us that are participating at this level are extremely humbled and grateful to be said participant within that dynamic. And it has to do with the awareness, the consciousness in which we are all streaming, holding, embodying, anchoring, drawing in, and permeating out into this third dimensional reality, this structure that already is, in order to anchor what already exists, yet has yet to be seen, if that makes sense. So I'm going to read a little bit about the ionic pair. This is from the Ascension Glossary. Okay, I'm going to utilize this because this might just gift people a overall broader sense and understanding to and terminology that those that are listening to my transmissions that you would understand. Okay, so let's see. The universal founders are involved with altering Ursa Major, in which its 7 stars are merging with its counterpart, the 7 sister stars in the Pleiades, creating a cosmic blueprint of the ionic pairing. Together, they represent the active principle of the heavenly masculine and the receptive principle of the heavenly feminine, uniting through their shared constellation, which allows connection directly to the cosmic spiritual sun. As this cosmic triad completes, the Heavenly Father, the Heavenly Mother unites with their cosmic spiritual sun. As you can see, the trinitization, the tritone, the tri-wave, the threefold founder flame, however you wish to identify it, to which this heavenly marriage heralds the birth of an entirely new creation of suns and sacred planets while nurturing the Christos child on the earth. This ionic pair represents the perfect balance. This cosmic shift in the solar system is being synchronized into a new eon. This new eon is equal to a new measurement in cosmic time as well as the creation of a new cosmic entity. The new eon describes the horizontal measurement of time. Horizontal meaning linear time, as having been adjusted by the cosmic clock, by the hand of God. The eons are always born in male and female pairs, each of which is in itself a divine principle, yet at the same time represent one aspect of the Godhead. There was another video I had spoke about. More people were tapping in and connecting, having a direct link to the Godhead and receiving these downloads, receiving this information. So this transmission is to only confirm what you already know, what you've already been receiving. And I recognize that there are many that are on this pathway, I don't want to say timeline, because the timeline's available to all, but the pathway is the higher structure and formation that allows us to receive the information, to lay the spread, to lay the pathway for others to come about. These Ionic pairs comprise the totality of the Godhead as the two divine principles which merge and unite as the third principle, the 1, 2, and the 3, right? Becoming the 3 in 1. The heavenly prototype must be embodied as above, so below, and will come to be the spiritual embodiment process of the ascending human experience. The spiritual completion which unites the Ionic pair is the resulting state of the crystal hierogamic union and sacred marriage between the male and female principle of the Godhead. The stairway to heaven through the crystal star is embodied through inner and outer sacred marriage, in alignment in these heavenly prototypes, which will continually advance upon the earth. So we're going to revert and go back to the idea that many people are stuck on, my twin flame journey. That is a lower based matrices structure of this ionic pair. We go through the twin flame journey to come in union with ourselves, to fully embody and anchor in this Godhead aspect of self, recognizing that we are the masculine, we are the feminine. And when we can reunite the two, we become the hermaphrodite, okay, non-gendered, because we find the equilibrium and balance of the masculine and feminine and unify the two within, which creates the pillar of light that reaches us back up into the Godhead and anchors that permanent source, rod, staff. That rod staff, which again is a geometric structure. It is a metaphor. It is a representation of the quantum energetics that are occurring, but it needs to be simulated into language that we can understand and hear. So there are many of us who have been uniting with our counterparts. This is not outside of self. Those that are on the twin flame journey and are in these digressive, these tormenting situations of runner chaser dynamics, etc., it's because you're battling yourself. You're battling your own energetics, yet you're projecting on other a physical form, because if you look at, we live in a holographic universe, we can project onto an image in order to see ourselves and reflect back to us what we need to see, what we need to heal, what we need to embody, what we need to embrace, what we need to love, right? So, I mean, when you look at the strategic design of the intricate genius of the great intelligence, it's absolutely breathtaking to see the cosmic ordering and design in which it encapsulates. I'm getting ahead of myself. So when you can move past the idea that my twin flame is me, and that I'm learning and understanding I'm on the journey of self-love and self-discovery, finding my source within, understanding that all comes within, and I'm reuniting within to my God source, my higher self, my greater essence, releasing my smaller self, but not denying my smaller self, and taking that journey and taking that emanation of God and bringing him with me. as I ascend higher into those realms, I step into a new blueprint. And now it is my duty and my mission to imprint said blueprint into a matrices that is already structured. It's a relay, it's a rendering of imaging. Okay? Touche. Well done. So we're going to move away from that idea of these lower based relationships that are very conditional. They are very codependent, dependent, not we give our power away to an outside source, not recognizing to proliferate our grails, our holy grails within, and allow those cosmic waters to flow and nourish within us and keep continuously regenerating the life force in which the universe gives us within every now moment. Sorry, little tangent, but that's the way the energy, yes, Set of Cups. Okay. And the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups, offering change, turning of the wheel of the cycles of time. Oh, wow. Back and forth, the reciprocation, the lemniscate, the reciprocity. We're learning to be reciprocal with our universes, not just with others. Okay, of the give and take. It's recognizing this give and take becomes a infinite feedback loop to the source. And we are gifted and offered with great creativity, wonder, pleasure, joy, newfound sense of abundance and creativity, in which we stabilize, we secure, we recognize that our emotional intelligence has become a greater field that cycles, that turns, that rotates, that is part of the greater, uh, these cogs to the whole in which the wheel turns in the cosmic forces, giving us greater clarity and understanding of our intuitive psychic abilities and our knowings, clairsentience, clear feeling, sensing, because we are navigating all this water, psychic intelligence that is our bodies. And we are balancing and harmonizing and unifying within ourselves and not seeing that we need to unify with another. When we can utilize and unify within ourselves, that's when other appears. Yeah, the moon just showed up. That's when other appears in order to mirror your reflection because you are now the embodiment of said structure. All right, so tangent per usual. So let's go back. So again, these ionic pairs compromise the totality of the Godhead. It's the sacred union. You have to come in union with yourself. So many people are chasing other and they're saying like, oh, they're meant to be with me and, you know, they're not awake yet or, they have so much shadow work to do, etc., etc. No, 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 no. They are merely there to be a physical representation to you so that you can reflect yourself to see what you still need to do and find your self-worth, your self-value, acknowledging who you are as the Godhead, as the divine light, as the male, the masculine and the female principalities. yet as the Christic child, and anchor and be that and walk reality as that. Through that heteros gamos and becoming the hermaphrodite. This is an example of the gender principle, if you want to go into Hermetic law. The gender principle with Adam and Eve is the waters of sex with chastity. The pillar of the Hermai is perfected and made into the image of God through the hierogamic union and the inner Christos Sophia. This is represented in perfect alchemy of united polarities as the magnum opus of cosmic consciousness. In this term, hermaphrodite, we see as Mercury, Hermes, which is Virgo, which is the hermit, uniting with the goddess of love. Her name is Venus or Aphrodite. When Hermes and Aphrodite unite, they form hermaphrodite, the perfect balance of united male and female principle of the Ionic pair, or the Christosophia. Many people will utilize and see the Ionic pair through like Jesus and Mary, various masters. And we always say that they're twin flames, okay? But the Christos Sophia is the two principalities. I understand, like, and anyone that understands spells and words, the vibrational frequencies that they hold, the terminology that you are using will help create the reality in which you are living. So if you are still utilizing and going off of the blueprint of twin flames, you will still experience in your reality the twin flame experience, which is of distortion. So this is why I'm bringing this forth, or at least Spirit is asking me to bring forth more about the ionic pair. The coding is much different, especially for our DNA and our activations and our ascension, in order to access deeper into our 12 tree grids and those memories to build our light bodies, to embody our angelic humans. Okay. So now we're going to go into rod and staff couplings, and then we'll talk about the cosmic dragons. When we take, this is about the universal male and female. When we take the 7 facial orifices and unite them with the male sexual orifices and the dimensional portals, we get the number 12. The correct pattern of electrical spin for the universal male principle is the 12-12. So those that see 12-12 often, or the 13-13, which is the feminine frequency. And anytime that I read and the 13 comes up, I do address that it is the feminine frequency. The correct pattern of the electrical spin for the universal male principle is 12-12. The same architecture in the planet body is the 12-tree grid. And when the 12-12 is projected as the first image of God, as the human atom, is called Albion. The geometric form of 6 is inherently connected to the sexual organs of a female. When we take the several facial orifices and unite them with female sexual orifices and dimensional portals, we get the number 13. The correct pattern of the electrotonal spin for the universal female principle is the number 13. The correct pattern of the is 13-13. The same architecture exists in the planetary core as Mother Arc. So we relate the 13 to the Mother Arc. When the 13 is projected, we're going back to holographic images, as the first sound field of God from the universal creatrix, it descends the Holy Spirit, and the colors created fill the Albion with a palette of color music. The music is called Cathar. Again, I'm not going to place a lot of emphasis on the wording that is used in this descriptional, because again, in my channelings, My higher self and my guides do use different wording. They don't get all crazy because humans, we like to create new words and, make it flowery and poetic, etc., etc. And that's why people get confused. They don't know what's going on because they're finding all these words and they all mean the same goddamn thing. Pardon my French, but when these electromagnetic patterns of male Avian star code and female Cathar star code unite and balance with each other, they create the rod and staff. Now, previous videos I've talked about the rod and staff corrections. There are particular individuals who are going through these types of ascensions. These are internal upgrades, activations, embodiments, acknowledgments, awarenesses, and realizing that their potentials within connect, and they will get these codes, these fire letters by their higher self, by their teams, the source, Godhead, however you receive this information. And they start building these structures within them, recoding their DNA and their light bodies, building their Merkabas, etc. Some are on these missions of rod and staff recorrections. In order to do the planetary mission, you have to unify and reunite, recorrect these rod and staff structural patterns within the genetic code within the human form. Okay? Yeah, I'm not going to go into all that because I find it's unnecessary and it just causes confusion for people. So, these rod and staff couplings, right? When you can anchor in and acknowledge that you are a rod and staff pairing, you will automatically begin to attract your mirror image that holds that rod and staff coupling. Those rod and staff couplings then will merge through their DNA twinning braids. That creates another dimensional layer of the hieros gamos, the anchoring of the masculine, feminine, divine principles, which then now embodies and anchors in the Godhead within the human form. The more of us that are in these twinning couples, twinning, not twin flame, these are ionic pairings. They are representations of a higher dimensional force. If you read back in a lot of the older gnosises and writings of sacred marriage, sacred rites, sacred sexuality, particular seasonal, like Beltane, things like that, there were human beings who played the role as the king and queen, played the role as the divine masculine or the feminine to bring in and anchor in these higher dimensional frequencies in order to proliferate the environments, the landscape, to bring forth abundance, wealth, good crops, prosperity, love, all of that. They became the vessels, the instruments, and allowed the divine. But they did it through a sacred initiation to playwright, so to speak, the act of God. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, we're going big, huh? All right. So the cosmic dragon star human. The extensive range of suns and stars in the starry night dark filament each contain their own unique creator's identity of the Aton stellar disk And we are part of Cosmic Crystal Solar Dragon King families who created the Universal Time Matrix. Many of you that know that you have dragon DNA recognize this storyline. These are the threefold founder flame Rishi Risha families who have held the keys to restore and embody the Aton God body with the universal Ankh body as part of the triple solar diamond shields. These are accessible to the star-born cosmic dragon star human, in which their cosmic Aton God body unites the solar factor to reveal the hidden 8th sun and K+8 solar factors. Okay, I'm not doing it, no, because I think again, I find that as humans, in order to define, we create more wordages and names and terminologies to anchor that frequency into it, and it becomes more confusing for people. So I'm going to state the cosmic dragons, the solar feminine, the solar masculine, the dragon king lineages are all part of the Sophia Codex. We're going to stop reading and we're just going to go into channeling. These missions are being restored, okay, by the Emerald Orders. The cosmic rods, staffs, they all align to the time matrix, the Gaian matrix, which is restoring the cosmic wing principles of the Albion Emerald Founder Ionic pair. Dragons and rod and staff holders, which embody and govern the movement of the cosmic clock of eons. So as you see, the more that we come online and we embody these blueprints, we come into connection. We understand that we hold these blueprints, this DNA structure, and we can build this world, this on a microcosmic level to mirror the macro. The macro will mirror the micro. We can bridge and align and start anchoring these realities into this reality that is already manifest. Excuse me. So, yes, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Holding, anchoring it. But you need to know thyself within thyself. You need to know who you are inside. You need to know and listen to your higher self, to your higher source, to know your mission, to understand and see the various landscapes that spirit tries to explain to you. And it's up to you to make the connection points, to weave your tapestry of life. No one can do that for you are the creator of your particular reality and matrix. So again, there is a huge, you don't hear, a lot of people don't talk about it, but through this lunar eclipse, we had a very big shift. And those that are working those particular missions of repairing the grids, the dragon lines that are rod and staff pairings, will recognize they've gone through huge transformations within their Merkabic fields. The rod and staff template, it's a prototype blueprint in order to achieve spiritual marriage or hieros gamos and work to bring it into physical manifestation. I will state, I don't have a partner, but I'm doing this work, okay? Because it has to come from within. And when you embody that blueprint, you will automatically manifest its reflective nature so that you and then that counterpart can work to create the physical manifestation within this third dimensional reality. Hence, blueprinting not just your matrices, but the collective matrices. You know, this is working at various levels, relationships, assignments. It works from the soul, the monad, the avatar. You're working with the Christos Sophia. You are anchoring in that Christ consciousness on various forms and dimensional levels. So if we want to go back, you know, we always hear about these sacred unions, twin flames, etc., etc. Like, I'm not going to sit and tell you about my beliefs as far as, you know, what I've been shown. And uh, the main thing is this ionic pair. We're bringing in a new eon. We're not playing in these lower based egotistical manifestations, runner chasers, turmoil. We're not playing out old storylines. We're here to unite and create a new manifestation, a new legacy, a new world. We are anchoring into this dimensional space that is already dirty and mucky, and we're overlaying it. We are rendering. We are working with the X and the Y, the vectors, and we are creating new spaces to overlay the existing foundations that have been built, that people continue to build upon in falsities of narratives. So if you want to keep playing in these traumatic experiences, or do you want to embody and fulfill the true essence in which it was designed? There's a lot of miasma that needs to be worked through. And if you're not aware of what miasma is, you can state that is trauma, ancestral trauma. That's all the shit in your bloodline. There's technology out of these reversals. And I will say that the twin flame dynamic has turned into an anti-hierogamic technology. It keeps masculine and feminine at war. Misery, consciousness traps, gender reversals. And people play into the misery of self-worth, self-value, not recognizing who they are within. We're here creating a new blueprint, and that blueprint is being anchored within this now. So I'm going to leave that there. I also got the message of the um, bride of Christ. And again, I'm not biblical in any means. I do understand and recognize from the biblical connotation what it means. But if we are anchoring in this Christ consciousness, right? The bride of Christ, what it was showing me is that we're making huge leaps and bounds. And any of us that are in this rod and staff couplings are now meeting um, physical representations that can embody that energy as well. And our energetics together will merge, whether we're consciously aware or not. It is happening on the higher dimensional planes. Our breeding is what's anchoring heaven to earth. And it's our faith and our belief and knowing that that existence and that world is here within this now, whether we actually see it here on the third dimensional plane. We're creating ripple effects within this dimensional space. Yeah. The Six of Wands, success, victory, achievement, recognition of a new beginning. It's a 0 point. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. I don't know if that makes sense. Those are my ramblings. Those are my musings, per usual. Uh, Star. Um, Future's here now. It just depends on how many of us actually see it. Cosmic waters are flowing and nourishing and watering our trees right now. There's a lot of unification, and not just between like humans, like masculine, feminine. The more of us that can achieve this, um, what's the word I want to use? Collective mass of awareness, the more of us that can step into these embodiments and really bring forth the manifestation, the physicalization, the realization of these realities. And there are a lot of new souls being birthed within this now moment as well, Gaian souls. And I know we speak about like the ascension of moving from Earth to Gaia, like 3D to 5D, and Tara, etc. And the way that I was shown the other day was quite beautiful. That these Gaian souls are actually being birthed on Earth. So what that represents to me is that you don't need to leave 3D to 5D. Consciously awareness, yes. Your mind, your awareness, you're in a higher dimensional space. But again, we're anchoring in, we're bringing forth into the physical plane, which is Earth, the third dimension. So all the thoughts and the consciousness traps of we need to ascend and go to another plane of existence and live on Gaia, when Earth, Gaia, and Tara are all the same, but we've created a separational piece. We've created separation. Human created that. Human thought, human imagination created that. What if there's no separation at all? What if there is no bifurcation? The separation is within our own minds. So if I recognize and see the separation and I bring the three back into unification, as I would with the trinitization of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the Christos child, as I would with the Father, the Mother, the Holy Son, however you want to perceive it, Mother, Maiden, Crone. When you unify them all back, there is no bifurcation. There is no separation. So all these disparities, these fractalizations, these scatterizations, I don't even think that's a word, but we're going to go with it. I'm unifying. I'm alchemizing. I'm bringing them back into the plane in which my physical body exists. And that's on Earth. And then that ripples out into the matrix. And it renders and reorders, recodes the DNA structural formations. These are the master magicians. This is the Elohim and the Eloi, the master builders. You don't need to leave this plane to rebuild. It's all an overlay, and you have the ability to overlay the existing structure. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you find this. Stop it. I hope you find this and inspirational. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, it's okay too. You know, Those that are meant to receive and experience and acknowledge and understand the message will get the message, whether now or 5, 6 years from now. I don't care. Time is not linear. It's in the field, it's in the Akash, and those that are meant to receive it will receive the message and download it. And that will help them get into the space and their missioning and and what they're here to do and blueprint and create and recreate and anchor and embody. So I send you all off with much love, many blessings on your journeys forwards, backwards, inwards, upwards, and downwards in your journeys. Take care.